What's up guys, Mike here, the UK Urban Prepper, and I'm going to talk to you about canned foods. I'm going to talk to you about which ones I stock, why, so on and so forth. This is not a you must buy this kind of guide, because whatever you buy that's canned food, you must eat, or your family must eat, or somebody in your household must eat. There is no point getting lots of cans of mixed vegetables in salted water, realizing actually I'm never going to eat these because they've got peas in, I really don't like them, and to eat them would be more of a chore. There's no point in stocking things like that. You need to stock things that you like. You might love macaroni and cheese, so stock a load of that. What I will say is try and look for the meals and things that are a staple in themselves. It's all right having lots and lots of stacks of potatoes like this. These are great. They come in larger cans. They're 345 grams drained weight of potatoes. They come in water that they can boil in themselves. So it's a very self-sufficient can. But you need to add something to that. You can't just have potatoes in your diet. So you end up using 2 or 3 cans to stack up to make a meal, which is fine, especially if you're cooking for more than one person. If you're on your own, I would try and look for things that are a meal in a can. So it's just, I'm going to eat this whole portion. That will do me. That is 320 calories, 1 can, off I go. However, nutrition is important, and one of the great things I've found recently is things like this. This is a Newgate one, so I think that means it's from Aldi or Lidl, one of the two, and it's a chunky soup. Now, many of you will have Irish stew. I've got Irish stew on my shelves, but Irish stew, acquired taste, quite thick. Now, this is like the brothy version of Irish stew. If I combine this, if I have this on its own for me, it's only 200 calories, so it's not really a big part of my daily allowance, but what you're not seeing is the micronutrients in that with all the greens. Comes with carbohydrates, proteins, everything you possibly need in a single can. Now, combine it with said can of potatoes and you have quite a hearty stew. I even prep gravy granules to add to that to make it more beefy. So them two alone would be a stew that could feed 2 people with around 600 calories. That's about 300 calories each if you consumed it yourself, but make sure you're monitoring that. If you want to know what cans to stock, look at your own diet. Look at your own macros, look at what your body requires. They all will contain traces of fat, so that macro is kind of covered. So we just need to hit our carbs macro. Beans, potatoes, things like that will do that, no problems. And of course, our protein, very important. That's where canned meats such as meatballs, hot dogs, Spam, anything like that, anything from the canned meat section, and canned fish will hit really well. Canned fish would probably actually be the healthiest source of protein in there, and the fish oils are an added bonus. Other than that, it's nutritional factors such as vegetables, greens, micronutrients, things like that. Try and hit all these kind of food groups, these macros, and have a good percentage stock of all of them. If your diet at the moment is 20% fat, 30% carbs, 50% protein, that's kind of what your shelves should look like if that's how you want to eat moving forward. If you hardly eat carbs and you eat a lot of protein, but then all your stockpiling is pasta and rice, you're going to have an issue as your body transitions over. A lot of the time, tinned items won't make up your calorie allowance unless you are really bulking them out. Things like that, like I said, were 200 calories. To hit a minimum daily allowance, a survival allowance of 1500 for a male, it should be 2500, I know, but a survival allowance of 1500 for a male, you would still have to consume 7.5 cans of this. So it's not really practical. Tins take up a lot of storage. So they're great for a beginner, a starter meal and stuff that you can prep and stack. But you have to think about that calorie allowance and how you're going to make it up. Whether that's with grains like rice and stuff like that and beans, or whether it's through pastas and other starchy things like that. Either way, so you kind of get a calorie count and plenty of carbohydrates for that energy. When buying tins, what we need to check. This can may be reduced. Why is it reduced? It's a can. It has, what date is on this? May 2026. So as we record this, it's got about a year left on it still. So, bargain, half the price in the shop. But why? Because of this. This is a dent in the can. Now, some people say, depends where it is, blah, 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 etc. And if it's up near the crease or around the seal, it's even worse. And obviously, if your can's bulging, especially on the top or the bottom, you can push that in, then the seal has been broken. That's no good. However, even a dent on the side like this, where it comes together here, creates a crease. So under the wrapper, we have this, and here at the points is the crease, whereas on the outside that might be smooth, but inside that could have cracked the lining ever so slightly. So any dented tins, use them up first, check the contents, make sure they're okay, but for long-term storage we want a perfectly round tin, no dents, no imperfections. So it's not worth the extra pence you save at the supermarket picking up a dented tin if it's going to poison you in the long run. Now, I'm not big on brands, but I got the Heinz stuff on offer. It was a good offer. It was like, I can't remember, it was like 8 tins for a £5 or something, mix and match. It was something like that. I cannot remember, but it was a decent offer. However, I regret getting them because they have to be the bottom shelf of all my products now, because of one simple thing that you need to watch for when you're buying cans is the bottom. The bottom on the Heinz can is the same as the top, same sort of lip. Now, a lot of other cans, such as Chunky Soup here, it's the same ridge on the top, but it's recessed inwards on the bottom. That enables us to stack them quite safely and quite stably. Whereas with the Heinz one, it does not. You have to have a balancing act and one slight touch and it slides off. It doesn't stack in itself. So that recess on the bottom of the cans is very important if you're stacking in this manner. Now, if you're stacking crate by crate rather than individual cans, if you've got that much room, hats off to you, more room than me, then it's not an issue because you have a layer of cardboard in between. If you've got loads of Heinz tins and you're having that problem, maybe just cut a piece of card to go in between. However, I'm just going down the track of avoiding them now and getting ones that can stack inside each other, that are a meal in a can, that can be combined to feed more than one person and give you plenty of nutrients and nutritions. Don't be afraid of overstocking one type of thing. For example, we talked about the potatoes. You could get food fatigue if you are opening this, boiling them and eating them day after day after day. But you just got to get inventive with it. I can slice this up and put it as part of a corned beef hash, which I will be doing on this week's video that I'm filming all week, where I'm eating only prep food. So you can make that into a corned beef hash. You can mash it up. You can crumble it up and put it in as part of a stew. So think of how you can use it in different recipes to not get the food fatigue, but things like this are great fillers. Cans should supplement everything else. So if you've got lots of pasta, your cans should be thinking about how you're supplementing pasta. So I have a lot of chopped tomatoes, whole tomatoes, and tomato purees that are canned to make different sauces and complement pastas in different ways. I also have a lot of canned fish, canned tuna especially. Tuna and pasta is a great, quick, easy meal that you can make en masse. Now, as a nutritionist, I would tell you to avoid all these things. Highly processed foods, especially like the sausages inside sausage and beans, the hot dogs, it's all highly processed food. It's not the best source of protein for you. It's not the cleanest source of protein for you. But just remember, when we talk about this and we look at our shopping videos and we're stockpiling for an emergency situation, it's about survival. It's not about being at the peak of physical fitness. It's not about eating the best you can possibly eat. I would advise that right now, by all means. But when it comes to stocking up, think practical over preference. That's it. This whole video was just to get the dented can thing to you and the recess thing to you, because that is an absolute bugbear. I've just sorted through all my cans and the Heinz ones have graduated from the prep room to the kitchen, so they get eaten first, because I won't be buying them again purely for that don't stockpile us can design that's a nightmare for people like me. Thanks for watching another video, guys. It was a super quick one. It's just about the cans, and I will see you all in another video really soon. Goodbye.